Welcome back, everybody, to the Me and Jesse podcast. My name is Mark Pavlich, away in the Grove, the big, sexy, the one and only, the star of the show, everybody, Mr. Jesse Martineau.
What up, Mark?
You know, everything's up, my friend. Everything is up. It's a Monday. I'm excited. Great guest on today. Had a fantastic weekend. What else can I ask for? And listen, and a great espresso to bring in the show.
Now, is it espresso or espresso?
Listen, if you're looking for clarification on any kind of verbal stuff, I'm definitely the wrong guy. You know, it's like when people come to my office and they're like, oh, I see you're a tequila aficionado. And I'm like, no. And they're like, what's your favorite tequila? And I say, the blue bottle. And they're like, oh, can you tell us the notes on that blue bottle? Yeah, if you drink enough of it, you'll get real shit-faced. That's the notes on it. Like, seriously, man,
nice
I'm not
that collection.
Like, you're a like a beer snob guy, right? So you can actually you treat a beer like it's the best wine in the world. And I always got a kick out. I got a kick out of that. I get a kick out of that when I see you do that. And literally, if you have a chance, please go to our YouTube channel, which you're on right now. Go to our YouTube channel and look at Jesse's beer reviews. I told him 100 times that he should have a separate channel just on beer reviews, because there's nobody in the world that I'd rather watch do beer reviews than Jesse Martineau. And literally, you will watch a guy like it's beyond bougie. It's so bougie talking about beer. I've showed it to thousands of people and they all get a kick out of it, because you literally should be hired by the biggest beer manufacturers in the world doing their stuff. That's my opinion.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I want to taste all the beers, not just their
beer. Yeah,
that's
the problem with you. You're not like, you won't sell your soul. You know, no, like I will.
It's not worth it.
But you won't. And that's what I've always loved about you. You're like, well, no, I can't do that because I want to try all the beers. And there's one beer company will say to you, Jesse, we'll give you $1 million. And you're like, I don't know, because I want to try
$1 million. If they said $1 million, I'd probably do.
But then you'd have to stick on that beer, and you can't be caught drinking someone else's beer
for $1 million.
No, but I'm saying is like that's how you are though. You're kind of like that.
I would do it for $1 million.
Of course.
I would do a lot of things for $1 million.
Yeah, but you're not crazy. I'm not
crazy. I'm just it's got to be worth it for me.
Yeah, correct.
Like I think it is in most things. Like why in sports too? Why would people do something else if it's not worth it? Why would you go somewhere else if it isn't worth it?
I totally agree.
People always say that all the time. Yeah. Like, hey, like they should go here. It's like, why? What's in it for them? It doesn't make sense. I don't get it. But you hear it all the time. You hear it a lot in like different sports for sure. I'm huge in F1, so I hear it all the time in there, obviously. And it's so political, it's weird, but that's how it is. But like Kylian Mbappe, going to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
People are like, well, why? And it's like, well, for him, like, why would he? He doesn't need to. I'm like, yeah, but they could be like the greatest team ever. They could even be better than the Ronaldo years.
But that's why he did it.
Yeah, exactly.
People don't understand. There's a certain amount. Listen, we all want to make as much money as possible, but there's shit that you make so much money, but then there's another thing attached to that which goes, this is just really cool.
Yeah,
this is so cool.
Hey, you know what? Yes. You know what? I've been watching the Welcome to Wrexham documentary with Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. It's so good, and
it is.
People, they were getting shit on quite a bit at the beginning. For doing
by the Wrexham fans to begin with.
For the beginning, and then they quickly saw like, hey, this is different. But then the rest of the world was it took a while, but watching that, and there's been 2 seasons of it, and they got promoted in the last one finally. So, you realize like, hey, they have money, and they don't need money. But they saw something more valuable that was going to be bigger.
Community.
And so the players that have come there that could be playing in another league came there because something special is happening. And yeah, there's money, but they could make more money somewhere else. But you would never be remembered like you would be doing it at that team.
Well, that's what they did with that special, right? And I watched it too. And they basically have lured players that maybe would be in the 2nd or 3rd division playing in that one now, which also helps them to get promoted.
Which they did.
And as you keep getting promoted, you make a lot more money. Mm-hmm. So that's the part about that soccer world that I really love, because they have 7th division, like 7th division, 6th division, 5, 4.
Imagine they did that in the NFL.
Oh,
That would be insane, dude.
And then you get to that next level, right?
But you think about the CFL, like, okay, the CFL's a joke.
Let's not think about. The CFL.
Think about it this way.
You took the show from a 10 to a 3.
I'm going to bring it back for you.
Okay,
I'm always working on another level.
Yes, that's true. That's true. There's an alternative motive here. Okay, go ahead.
That CFL could be Division 2 of the NFL.
The CFL could be.
It could be. So you have, but you wouldn't call it the Canadian Football League. You have to be like North American Football League or something. So you have the NFL.
No.
And then you have 10 other teams that all those college guys that filter out could go actually play. And then you start to relegate back and forth in the NFL. Yes. You actually get a lot more players and buy-in from different things. We don't do sports that way. In soccer, I mean, there's obviously so many people in the world that play soccer, so you have to figure stuff out. But think about like tanking it. You can't tank it anymore. You can't tank the season.
No.
Because you're not gonna be in the league.
That's right. That's right.
That is another level of intensity, which is why you watch grown men cry at a regular season game in a soccer match in Europe.
But soccer's different, Jesse. And you know what? It's funny because I don't watch a great deal of soccer during the course of the year. But the second my Croatians play in World Cup or Euro Cup, the world stops. And I mean stops, bro. And I mean, it stops in such a weird way that I can't even explain it to you. Like the world stops. We focus on that one specific thing until it's over. And it's like that every time. I'm glad it's not every year. I can't afford to do it every year because it's literally
that's the thing though, because that's huge for us. But in the UK, like these people with like the Wrexham fans, for example, there's one on Netflix called Sunderland.
It's for them all the time like that though.
The time, and that heartbreak all the time. Like it is another level. Like we live and die with certain teams here, but it's not the same. When you like, imagine that. Like, imagine the years that the Oilers sucked and they got booted from the NHL and had to play in a lower league.
Yeah, like the WHL. Bring it back. That WHL.
Imagine
you go down. Yeah.
Imagine, like, it's one, and then you're like, oh, we got the first pick, so ta-da, look at us.
Yeah.
No, you go down a level.
Yeah.
Like, that brings a whole different world to the sport you watch.
It's death.
It really is.
It's that.
And that's why
what people don't get.
Yeah, they don't get it here. We don't get it. It doesn't quite compute. Like, for example, the worst sporting moment two, the worst. One, the Flames losing in Game 7 in 2001 or 2, whatever it was. And then the next, the Super Bowl, Seattle losing on the 1-yard line.
I was there. Yeah, it was awful.
Two easily my worst moments in sports.
Yeah.
Now, horrible, rightly so. But you exponentially increase that every week, and you have to deal with that, 40 times a year.
That's right.
That's a different thing that we just don't put ourselves in.
It is. It's
no wonder that they have buy-in in their stadiums when, 50,000 people singing and chanting the whole time with, the energy that it's the Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Like, every single game. There's a reason why. It's because there's such higher consequences on the other end.
Yes, I totally agree. I'm like I said, when soccer's on, and it's not just normal soccer, it's country soccer is on, it is death. When you're scored on first, it's death. It's literally death. It's like you're one foot in the grave because it's like you got scored on first. And we know what that means because some teams could shut you down like that. And literally that's what you're dealing with. And soccer is like that. And that's one feeling I can't even really remember any other feeling. Like if I would trade in any Stanley Cup Detroit ever won besides my Uncle Marty's for a World Cup for soccer.
Right.
For Croatia.
Yeah.
For Croatia. For Croatia. And literally I would trade it in tomorrow. Like it's not even a thought. What it does for a country that's so small like Croatia and to be able to be this high level in soccer is something special. It really lets us pound our chest and say, okay, look at us, Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Canada just qualified for the Copa America, so they're going to be playing Argentina, which will be something, but whatever. I mean, it's awesome that they did it. And so, that's coming up too. But and my thing too was watching Ryan Reynolds transition from what is this thing my buddy wants me to get into? I'll join. Okay, yeah, this is fun and this is neat. And then watching him like going
Stress.
like, yeah, like, and actually like genuinely caring about it by the end, like how much he cares now. It's
because now Sally.
Yeah.
At the bar.
Yeah.
You know Jimmy.
Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? Care. Like people by their first names, and they know that this team lives or dies. This city lives or dies on winning and losing.
We'll be right back, everybody, on the Me and Jesse podcast.
Get ready. It's time for the Me and Jesse podcast with Mark Pavlich and Jesse Martineau.
Hey, you've spoken, and we've listened. Introducing the next version of Backscape, Backscape 2.0. This is going to change everything. Not only can you assemble your Backscape faster than a NASCAR pit crew now, but you can take out the shaver and use this anywhere you want on your body. With Backscape, you're not just grooming, you're sculpting a masterpiece. Welcome inside the controls center of Backscape World Headquarters. This is where all the important business gets done. But I want to show you something else.
Hi, thanks for calling Backscape. How can I help you?
Our customer service team here at Backscape is incredible. With great smoothness comes great responsibility. My work is done here. Backscape 2.0 is so easy to use, you don't even need an instructional manual, but we put one in there anyway. Hey, look, it's me. With Backscape, grooming your own back hair and the rest of your body hair has never been easier. So cheers to you connoisseur of comfort, you sultan of smoothness. Head over to backscape.com and remember, stay smooth, gentlemen. Hey, you've spoken, and we've listened. Introducing the next version of Backscape, Backscape 2.0.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Me and Jesse podcast. I am Mark Pavlich, away in the Grove, the big, sexy Jesse Martineau, and our special guest today, everybody, Devon, the great Alexander, former WBC light welterweight champion of the world, on the show. Yes. You know how excited we are to have you, Devon. We're so excited to have you on the show because we know your history. We know what you've done. There's a reason why you have the name, the Great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody that watches our show, do you understand that Devon Alexander amateur record? Listen to me when I tell you this. Get out your pen. Get out your pen and write it down. 310. Jesse.
Yes, sir.
310.
No, Jesse. 300 wins, 10 losses. Do you understand?
300. How?
300.
I hated to lose. Hate it.
That makes sense. 310 though. How do you feel after 300 fights?
So they kept me busy. So for a typical tournament, you can fight every day.
Right.
5 days, Monday through Friday, you can fight every day, depending on how many people enter the tournament. And that's what I'll do. That's what make it so special. If you can make it to the top of the boxing game and go through that, first to go to a national tournament, you have to go through 3 steps. You got the locals. You got to fight 2 or 3 times in the locals. Then you got to go to the regionals. Then you got to fight 4 times in the regionals. Then you got to go to the nationals where you got to fight 5 times. So you got to fight a lot. So that's why it racked up pretty fast. Because I was going to every tournament.
Why did you go that route?
How did you go ahead? Sorry.
Why did you go that route?
So for as the amateur route?
Yeah.
So
long.
Yeah, for so long, like so many tournaments.
Okay. So I started when I was, the reason why too, I started when I was early. I started boxing when I was 7 years old. I couldn't compete till I was 8 years old. So I had my first national tournament at 9 years old.
Jeez.
9 years old.
Wow.
So I won that. And then I'm so sorry, fellas. Hold for a second. I'm on after me. I'm so sorry, fellas. I told my wife. Oh.
No worries.
Oh my God. You know, that's what happens on live stuff, everybody.
Yeah.
Devon Alexander, former WBC light welterweight world champion and IBF world champion in 2 different weight classes, has to cut out sometimes when he's on the middle of a live broadcast with the Me and Jesse podcast. This doesn't happen with NFL players. This doesn't happen with NHL players. This doesn't happen with UFC fighters. It only happens with, you ever notice that, Jesse? WBC, remember Jolena Marjanovic on the show? And then we had Sugar Hill, and there was all scattery and people coming in and out and people coming down the stairs, people this and that. Doesn't happen in any other sport, everybody. Just boxing.
Yeah.
Just boxing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's.
So you tell me what it is. There is. He's back.
He's back.
This boxing. Devon, that's what happened. I tell everybody, we've had NFL players on the show. Yes. NFL, like high-level NFL players, high-level NHL players, NBA players. Never happens. Never happens. You bring boxers on the show. They bring their kids on the show. I'm talking to their mothers. They bring in their cousin.
True, actually. We do.
Their cousin comes down the stairs. We had. Jesse, tell the truth.
No,
we had
actually. We've met so many family members.
Sugar Hill was on the show. Tyson Fury's trainer. And literally, his cousin was on the show for some reason. I'm like, what the hell's your cousin doing on that? I mean,
I don't think I'd go that far. I don't think I would go that far. I don't think mom would be appropriate either.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
They just wanted to make an appearance, guest appearance.
Yeah, they want to be on the show because we get so many people that watch our show, and literally, Devon, I want to know this. I know that your brother is a boxer as well.
Yes.
And
sir.
I want to know how you came up as a kid. Because we can get on a podcast. We can talk about your amateur career. We can talk about your pro career. People want to know who Devon Alexander really is. I want to know about like how you came up as a kid. What was that whole thing like?
Ooh, that's a good question. So, my upbringing was pretty tumultuous. It was very, it was some. As I got older, I understood that my kid, how I grew up as a kid, was not right. Was very sad because I saw things that kids shouldn't see. I saw things that kids shouldn't experience at all. Was no fault of my own. I grew up in an impoverished neighborhood. I grew up in a neighborhood where I would hear gunshots at nighttime. I grew up in a neighborhood where I would hear gunshots in the morning. I would hear, neighbors arguing all night long, fighting, drug dealers, dealing drugs, where, crackheads just walking zombied out, some stuff that a kid should not be seeing. But I tell people this, when you grow up in an environment and that's all you saw, you think that's what all kids do. I don't know until you see something different. And at 12 years old, that's when I really realized my life is really jacked up. That's when I really realized, and I got a chance to travel with my national team, a St. Louis team, to another state, and that's when I realized other kids ain't doing what I'm doing. No, that's not right. That's not right. So
Devin, do you ever catch yourself like looking back at that time, for example, and you actually don't feel sorry for the Devin Alexander today, but do you ever sit back and feel sorry for that? Like it's like you're watching a movie, right? And you're like, oh, that was my life. And do you ever feel sorry for that kid?
Oh, absolutely. I just put up a post yesterday. One of my old teachers sent me a picture of myself when I was in elementary school, and I was a dirty kid. I was a kid that my clothes was like very my clothes was very they were very dirty. So and kids would talk about me, and I talked about that in my post, and I talked about how kids will, laugh at you. Sometimes my shoes had holes in them. Sometimes my pants will have holes in them. Sometimes, my blue jeans will have just tons of dirt on them. And if you go to my Facebook page, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. But looking at that, it's a lot of trauma. It's a lot of trauma for me in particular. I don't know about any of my other siblings, but for me, when I look at a picture at school or when I was down where I lived at, it's unchecked trauma, as I would call. You live and you keep living, but you get an eerie feeling when you go down there into a neighborhood where you grew up in, or when you see a picture that's trauma, you feel it.
So do you feel safer in, this is a weird question because I'm really in depth of what you're saying right now. And what I'm trying to wonder is, did you feel safer in the boxing ring than you did at home?
Oh, absolutely. Now
That's bizarre. Yeah, think about that. Think about what I just said.
Now, credit to my mom and dad. Yeah. I come from a huge family, 13 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
8 sisters, 4 brothers, 5 including me. Can you imagine a 2-bedroom household?
Jeez.
All my sisters shared a room. All my brothers shared a room. My mom and dad in the front room. They had a let-out couch where they had a bed in it, and that's where they slept. Sharing everything. We had a system where if I was to wear something, the kids, I would have to wash it, and then my other brother would wear it the next day, and vice versa. We had to wash it. We had a system. So growing up like that is I credit my mom and dad for keeping us together and close. She was very hands on. I did have my dad as well, and that really helped a lot.
Is he still alive? Is your father still alive?
No. My dad died actually in '05, right before I was fighting the Olympics, and he died of prostate cancer. So he died right before I was heading to Olympic trials. No. After I took it back. He was living when I went to the Olympic trial finals, and I lost in the Olympic trial finals, and I was devastated because I wanted to win the Olympics. I wanted to go to the Olympics for him, and I wanted to win it, but I ended up losing in the Olympic trial finals. And I came home. My dad told me he was sick. He had cancer through his whole body. It was the worst day of my life. So, and then right before I was about to turn pro, he died. So, as a kid, you got a lot of trauma, and you got a lot of, sorry about that.
That's okay.
It's okay.
This phone has never stopped. It irks. But you go.
Yeah, we expect it. We expect it, Devin. We love you, baby. We expect it.
So, um, my hold for just 2 seconds.
That's okay.
Okay. So, as we on our show, this happens with boxing all the time. And so the tradition continues. Don't forget, everybody, Devon Alexander will be on Unified Boxing May 24th, live from the River Cree Resort Casino. He will be in the main event, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been announced. So that's never been announced yet. He'll be in the main event May 24th, live from the River Cree Resort and Casino. And we won't tell you his opponent just yet, but he will be in the main event. And Devon, the great Alexander, two-time WBC champion, IBF champion, two-division champion, will be in the main event.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. May 24th.
Well, if we're going to take a break, I'm going to tell people.
Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah, live also, too, for everybody on UFC Fight Pass, the only boxing show that is.
On UFC Fight Pass.
UFC Fight yes, correct.
Yeah.
Would you think I was going to come back in the boxing world and not do cool shit?
Well, no, I had no idea. No one really even knew that you were going to do this.
Yeah, yes, correct. And now I'm not going to stop. Now I'm not going to stop.
You've created another monster.
It's when you bring the monster back, my friend, you let him out of the cage. What happens? That's what happens.
I guess so. We'll just take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Hey, you've spoken and we've listened. Introducing the next version of Backscape 2.0. This is going to change everything. Not only can you assemble your Backscape faster than a NASCAR pit crew now, but you can take out the shaver and use this anywhere you want on your body. With Backscape, you're not just grooming, you're sculpting a masterpiece. Welcome inside the control center of Backscape World Headquarters. This is where all the important business gets done. But I want to show you something else.
Hi, thanks for calling Backscape. How can I help you?
Our customer service team here at Backscape is incredible. With great smoothness comes great responsibility. My work is done here. Backscape 2.0 is so easy to use, you don't even need an instructional manual, but we put one in there anyway. Hey, look, it's me. With Backscape, grooming your own back hair and the rest of your body hair has never been easier. So cheers to you connoisseur of comfort, you sultan of smoothness. Head over to backscape.com and remember, stay smooth, gentlemen. Hey, you've spoken and we've listened. Introducing the next version of Backscape 2.0.
Imagine that, the boxing world, we back with Devon Alexander the Great. I love that nickname. Who gave you that nickname? Who gave you that?
So I'm a history buff.
Oh, awesome.
I'm a history buff, and I know a little bit about Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
And he was an amazing warrior. Is everybody history good? No.
No, that's true. That's
some of the stuff I read about him was
suspect.
Yeah.
Different type.
Yeah.
Suspect, yeah.
Yeah, but ultimately he was a good warrior. And I thought that name fit wonders because my last name was Alexander. And it just fit. And because I was great at everything I was doing. I was great. I was winning every tournament. The guy really has blessed me in a lot of ways, especially where I came from, and I don't take my life for granted, because I knew where I came from and I knew how hard it was to make it to the top of the boxing game, coming from where I come from, because most of politicians and people write kids that come from that type of neighborhood, they write them off. They're like, man, there is no way that this kid can go to the top of anything being around the environment. And, being around a safe environment and an amazing environment, you 9 times out of 10 going to be okay in life. But growing up around an environment where you see guns, gangs every single day, you see things that a kid won't see, likelihood of you doing it increases.
Yeah.
So I'm just thankful that I was able to stay the course and keep my head down.
Are you excited? Are you excited to come to Canada?
Absolutely. Been reading about it for years. Been reading about it in the history books for years. Been studying for years. Always wonder how you guys' culture is.
Yep.
How
it
you
is
guys
different.
live.
That's different.
You guys speak French, right?
Yes, I do not. But my wife speaks, like, her first language is French from Canada.
What about you, Jess?
No, I don't speak French, although all my ancestors are French.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing in our country. So, like, if you live on further west you go, the least amount of French you get.
That's right.
And there's kind of like this thing against East and West that we kind of fight a little bit with that.
And we're in the West.
Yeah.
And we live in the West, right? So it kind of falls off. Like, as you go out east, there's lots of French, and then you come to West, there's not that many. And there's always a West-East thing going on, whether it's with sports, whether it's with politics, but there is a divide, like in America, but America's spread out. Like, you have like if you go into the States, we know that there's a lot of Republicans in this area, Democrats in this area. In Canada, it's very similar, because out east, there's a lot of liberals and there's a lot of conservatives in certain sections of Canada. And then when you go, it's very, very easy to see that. It's really weird, but it's the same thing as the States. It's just we're a lot smaller in people-wise, population-wise, in Canada compared to the States.
What's the number? What's you guys' population?
40 million.
40 million in the whole country.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And we're way bigger than you landmass. We're way bigger than the United States.
Way bigger.
We're the second largest country in the world.
Yes.
Land.
Landmass, yes.
Yes.
I read that. Have you guys touched every part of Canada yet, or some still untouched land?
You mean have we personally?
Yes. Like, have you guys, like,
I have.
For the government wise.
I've been to most of it. So I've been to the Yellowknives up north.
Yeah, I've been there.
I've been all the way east to the Maritimes. I've been all the way west to British Columbia. And one thing I can honestly say, very few countries can rival Canada for the aesthetics. I mean, there is places in Europe that rival it, but what I'm saying, Canada, even though our government's a little bit shaky right now with the prime minister we have, he's horrendous. It's still one of the greatest countries in the world. No question.
Yeah.
No question.
I've heard good things and I heard bad things. A lot of people saying they've taken a lot of Canada freedoms away over there. Free speech is one of them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm hearing a lot of things going on where a lot of what's going on here is going on there, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Usually what happens is we're a few years behind you guys.
Yes. So whatever going on where you're going on, we're like a year or two behind every time.
Okay.
But in some ways, we're ahead. Like some of the ways probably you don't want to hear, we lead those things.
Yes. What about crime? What about crime?
There's hardly any. Let's be real. There's not.
We don't have guns. We don't have guns. Yeah. So I mean, there is guns, but you can't have a gun here. So
really,
well, you can have a gun, but you can't have like.
Correct.
You can have hunting rifles and stuff like that.
You can't walk around with a gun.
No,
you can't.
And handguns are really, really hard to get.
You can't have a concealed weapon on you. You cannot.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are kind of like UK for gun laws.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Very similar.
Okay.
Like if you go to Texas and you're driving by in a car in Texas and you shoot someone with the finger, someone's gonna pull out a gun, and show you it. In Canada, you shoot someone the finger, they're gonna either wave at you or shoot you the finger back. That's as far as it's gonna go.
Yeah.
That's as far as it's...
So being that you guys don't have too many gun problems. You guys have a knife problem? Because I think it's a trade-off in UK. They have a lot of stabbing. in the UK.
Yeah, I don't leave my house without carrying a knife, me personally.
Yes.
So I don't leave anywhere. I don't go anywhere except for church on Sunday. I don't carry a knife in church. Outside of that, I have a knife on me 24 hours a day. I do not, and you won't ever see it on me. It's not where you can, it's concealed. So you can't see the knife. It's super flat. But if I have any problem, I'm not going to roll around on the ground with people or start boxing them in the middle of the road when there's one or two people. I haven't had that. I haven't had to use my knife. But if I'm in a parking garage with my wife and someone approaches me, I will take it out. I will.
Right. You want to be able to defend your family.
Correct. So even though we're in Canada, that kind of stuff does exist.
Yes. I've read that about the UK as well.
Turn right after one half
other
mile.
means of,
Yeah. Well, we had here's the number here's the number you're probably thinking about. In Canada in 2022, there was 874 murders. In 2022 in the U.S., there's 21,000.
Wow.
So but we have you have 10 times more. So we could say there was like 8,500 murders.
If we times it by how many people?
We put the population the same.
Yes. Okay,
so it's still way behind.
Yeah. So crime really isn't a big thing here. Stealing, theft, and stuff.
Whole Canada?
That's all Canada, the whole country.
The whole country.
Oh wow.
Like in my neighborhood, which I've noticed is where I live, like there's so many nice houses. Like it's not even normal. Like there's so many places in the city where we live in where like it's not just my neighborhood. There's multiple neighborhoods where everybody lives in these really nice houses. And you start to wonder to yourself, you're like, is this even normal? Because there's so many areas with nice homes. And that's bizarre in Canada because you'll see that. There's a lot of people with wealth. Lots.
Okay. So is it like a dividing with wealth in Canada, like in your United States, like the rich is rich and the poor is poor, or is it like evenly split?
No, but there's a defined middle class here. Oh, in Canada, there's a poor, then there's a middle class, then there's an upper middle class, and then there's a rich. So there's basically a multiple tier system in Canada. Now, the current prime minister is trying to knock out the middle class, right? He's trying to make everybody either rich or poor. But in real life in Canada, it's rich, upper middle class, poor. So there's a tier system.
That sounds like United States. They want to knock out the middle class.
Yeah, they do here too.
Yeah, either you have it, you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Correct.
So are you guys for as civil rights?
Yes.
Being stepped on over there as well.
Yeah, but people are fighting back on that. So Canadians didn't think that was going to happen ever here, and then it did. But Canadians won't lay down for that. They will not. Like they won't. Like, what Trudeau's trying to do in Canada, he won't get away with it, and he's going to be out next year, so he will never get reelected in this country. So people hate him. Like it's not even fun. When he walks into venues, he's booed. When he walks in to speak, he's booed. When he does anything, he's just basically trashed and booed by everybody. And we knew he was in trouble when the gay community turned on him. When the gay community turned on him, we all knew, oh, he's in trouble now because they were his biggest flag wavers, and they're not even waving his flag anymore either.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a good sign.
So he's bad. He's bad.
He's very bad.
So when he got elected, did you guys vote for him? Did you guys believe in the hype, or
no?
He really disappointed you.
No, because his
we're
father.
Out west, so it's a little different.
Yeah, and his father was a Don back in the day. His father was a big prime minister in Canada, and his father was a baller. But his dad, he rode the coattail, everybody thinking that maybe he would be the reincarnation of his dad, but a little bit smarter. And it was a complete opposite. And he basically turned Canada politically into a laughing stock. And I don't think Canadians are gonna you'll see that in the voting next time around. Even people that are hardcore liberals, I don't think are gonna vote for him just for the sole purpose of the embarrassment that he's caused this country. Yeah.
Are you guys in debt? Like the
Yes.
United States?
Yes.
We're in debt. Oh yeah.
We were printing money at one point, Devin. We were printing money. He admitted it. He just, what should I do? I can't figure out how to make more jobs. I can't get more jobs for people. I can't figure this out. And they just literally, I'm not even making this up. They printed more money.
So he was just giving money.
Yes. And you know what that does? People think that's a great idea. It's the complete opposite. It doesn't help your economy whatsoever, printing out and giving money to people.
Yeah, it doesn't. It makes
it does. Correct.
Yeah, our inflation's through the roof. So you'd probably find like it more expensive here for a lot of things, to be honest.
Yes, like groceries.
Yeah,
like if
gas.
if your wife went grocery shopping here, she would be like, this can't be real. Like she would say this is insanity because the groceries are so expensive. And gas. Okay, what is it a gallon where you live? A gallon. How much for a gallon?
For a gallon, right now, maybe 3.30.
Okay, here it would be equivalent to about $6.
Yeah, it'd be double here, at least double.
So it's quadruple, right? A liter.
Yeah, if you're in Vancouver or Montreal,
4 liters
or
make a gallon. 4 liters make a gallon, roughly. So you're looking at around $6, give or take, a gallon.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's insane.
What? So the American dollar and your dollar, what does they equate to?
About 30 cents different.
36, 38 cents different. So if you're
$1.30.
So
yours is
say I owed you $10,000. I'd almost have to go spend 14,000 Canadian to give you your 10.
Oh wow.
Yes,
wow.
that's how it works.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wow.
Yes, correct.
Was it always like that though?
No.
Is the question.
No. It's gone up and down, but yeah, this is a bad one.
But when
I
was
been
a
like
kid,
this since what, the 80s?
Yeah, but when I was a kid, I lived across from Detroit, and at one time Canada was 10 cents more. And Canadians, Canadians did. Canadians went, don't worry about it. Americans, the second it switched, Americans are like, nah. You give us our money, man. You got to pay, and that's how America. That's what I do love about America. America don't give you no pass. You don't get a pass. You don't get a pass. Listen, you had certain people that were in office in America, no pass. You don't get a pass. Now you do.
Well, that is one thing that America do. You know, you owe them, you gotta pay up.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Well, quite the history lesson we've had here.
You guys can tell I am a history buff.
Yeah,
I like to read a lot of history because there's so much out there to learn and to and I've always wanted to go to Canada, so I'm excited to come over there and check you guys out.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to be here. That's awesome.
I
didn't know you were
here. We'll see Devon, everybody, May 24th live at the River Cree Resort and Casino. In the main event, we're bringing in the great for unified boxing, and we're so excited to bring him in. And listen, everybody, he is going to be as delivered. Listen, Devon, I am so happy that you came on the show today. You are great in and outside of the ring. People need to know that. And I'm going to let everybody know that. And on this episode too, we're going to give you his Facebook, his Twitter, his Instagram, everything. You need to follow him because what he does for the community where he lives, forget about it. Boxers aren't doing what he's doing. He's doing it, everybody. Please follow Devon on all his social media channels. He's worth the wait. He's worth the follow.
I'm doing God's work. I'm doing God's work. I come from a humble beginnings, and I want to make sure the kids that are grew up like I did, I have a fighting chance because they count them out. So I want to go. I want to use my platform to inspire as many kids as I can. I'm only one person, of course, but I'm gonna try to do what I can.
Awesome. That's awesome. We love it.
Awesome, man.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight, Devon, and have a great night, and we'll see you soon.
What time is it over there?
Well, it's 2 hours different. It's 1 hour difference. So we're 1 hour before you.
Oh, sorry. It's
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So whatever time it's 1 hour, you're 1 hour later.
Okay. Oh, so our time difference not that bad.
No, you're in Central Time. We're in Mountain Time.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
That's right.
Okay,
buddy. Man. Thank you so much.
Having me, guys.
Thank you.
See ya.
Okay.
See ya.
Devon
Alexander, everybody, fighting live Friday, May 24th at the River Cree Resort and Casino in the main event in Unified Boxing 2.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a good guy.
Awesome guy. Yeah. And you know what's funny? When I talk to him on the phone, he doesn't want to ever talk about boxing. He wants to talk about like politics and stuff like that. He really, he's super.
It's cool.
It's super into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Me too.
I like having guests that, do that too, because it's.
Me too.
We're human beings. And so.
Correct.
It's cool learning about other things.
Let's not forget that.
Exactly.
Don't forget, everybody. Please remember our great sponsors at Backscape.com with the new 2.0 now for sale. And it's a fantastic product with the new gold. I love the slick gold head on the new one. It looks absolutely incredible. Go to Backscape.com today to get yours. It's mandatory, guys. Stop telling me that back hair looks good, okay? Whoever said that should have their tongue cut out. And don't forget, everybody, Crystal Glass, your clear choice for all your glass needs. Call 310 Glass or go to crystalglass.ca today. Over 75 years in the glass business, auto, residential, and commercial.
Well, that was a great show. Thanks so much, Mark. Thanks, Devon, for joining us. And
we apologize, everybody, too, because we know when boxing people get on, it's like we got to cut in, cut out, cut in, cut out. It's we're used to it.
Yeah,
we're used
that's
to
what
it.
happens. Makes it more entertaining.
It does.
Well, everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next time on the Me and Jesse podcast.
Thanks for watching the Me and Jesse podcast. Follow us at facebook.com/Me and Jesse.